So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about successful mini sessions, and it says with Swift galleries. We'll touch on Swift galleries here toward the end, but this is really just a successful mini sessions, just like Chris's tips on successful mini sessions. All right. So, um, successful, and by when I say successful, I really just mean profitable, but also like not sleazy. Mini sessions are made up of really two things. So, you have to create opportunities to increase your average sale, and you have to optimize your processes to be as efficient as possible. So, how are we going to do that? Let's start with this: creating opportunities to increase your average sale. So, I talked about this on a Facebook Live earlier this week, but this is probably one of the easiest kind of first things that you can do, which is the offering that you put out there. So, hey, mini sessions are X dollars. You get a half-hour session, and it comes with what? All right. Well, it comes with 2 to 3 digital files. So you pick 2 or 3. Don't go more than that. It's just they don't they don't need more than that from a mini session. Okay. Or at least they shouldn't get more than that from a mini session. Okay. So 2 to 3 digital files and an 11 by 14 mounted print. All right. Why do we do this? Well, number one, it gives us an excuse for the sales meeting, right? It gives us, we're doing this intentionally because we want to be able to say, okay, so we're going to do your session this week, and then next week we'll meet and we'll choose the 2 digital files that you want, and we'll choose the image that you want on your mounted print, right? And then more importantly, these are a really easy kind of foot in the door for opportunities to increase our average sale. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, our 2 to 3 digital files, we could, let me put it this way. When you do this sales meeting a week later or whatever, chances are they're going to see all of the images and they're going to say, how am I supposed to choose just 2? I love them all. Well, they're not supposed to. That's the point, right? So we want to create these opportunities. We're putting we're building our offerings so that we have a jumping off point for increasing those, right? So those 2 to 3 digital files can be upgraded to just as well. You love more than 2. You love 10 of these. All right, great. Well, here's the price for 10 of these. Or you love all of them. Let's just do all of them, right? So they can either upgrade to additional files, they can upgrade to the full session. And then the 11 by 14 print, I really like because an 11 by 14 mounted print is really too big for a tabletop, but it's too small for the wall. So it can be upgraded honestly either way. You can make it a smaller but framed print, which is going to cost more. So you can go smaller if they really want something that's tabletop, but make it framed. Or you can upgrade to a larger size print or a different type of print, or ideally upgrade to a full wall gallery. All right. So that 11 by 14, it's just a really good foot in the door to be able to go to something larger or to something that is that has a better profit margin for you, that might even be smaller, right? It could be, and I talk wall galleries. I'm talking about single prints. This could even be like a box, like a print box or something like that, or a small album or book. It just gives you so many opportunities to upgrade from there. And basically, what you're saying is, hey, you know what? This came with this 11 by 14. Here's how much that's worth. But if you want to go to the 20 by 30 canvas, then we'll take off the cost of the 11 by 14. So it's like a built-in discount for them to get them something that's actually appropriate for the wall. All right. Okay. So what about cards? Right? Because this is the thing that comes up all the time. But what about cards? Everybody wants holiday cards. Holiday cards suck. Like they're the worst because it's really hard to charge enough to be profitable, especially because like any client can go to like Minted or something and get a pretty good quality card for a lot less than we have to charge for them. It's very hard for us to charge what we need to cover our time and to cover our costs, right, for cards. So, and then lastly, they don't really work that well for lead generation, because everybody's like, oh, well, it has my logo on the back, so It's really just advertising. Well, yeah, technically, but it's really crappy advertising. It's just not good. I don't know. I don't know how many people have ever really called the person because, like, hey, I saw you on the card, right? Unless it's just the number of people that are seeing your logo. So, like, here's an example with our high school seniors. Um, we got some we got some referrals from cards, but it was because they said, "Oh yeah, when we got like the sixth card from somebody that had your logo on the back, then we were like, oh, we should call this person, right?" But that one just wasn't going to do it. Okay, so what can we do with cards? Well, you can consider using these as loss leaders. Loss leaders are basically something that you are going to take a hit on, but it's because you know that they're going to buy something else. Think of like the really cheap DVDs at the back of like Target, right? In the big bin or Walmart or whatever. Um, they have those back there. They know they're going to lose money on that, but that's why they're in the back of the store because they know that you're going to walk past all this other stuff and you're most likely going to grab something else that they have a better profit margin on. That's a loss leader. It's the same thing as like um, um, basically food at McDonald's. If you go to like a McDonald's and you order just a burger, then they actually lose money if you order just a burger. They make their money on the soda. So when they ask you if you want to make that a meal, it's because they pay so little for the soda but charge so much for it that it makes up for everything else. The food at McDonald's is a loss leader, which is nuts to me, right? All right, so you can make this your loss leader. It's the thing that gets them in the door, but you're really going to sell them something else, right? The vast majority of people are going to buy something else. Or you can use this as your carrot on the stick. It's the thing to like bribe them to get what you really want them to get. So maybe it's you get a full pack of cards with any wall art order, right? Or you get a full pack of cards with any order of $800 or more or something, right? Whatever your ideal like target sales average is, set it at that and then say that's where the cards come in, right? This is that carrot on the stick, the thing you're dangling in front of them that you want them to do, right? Okay. Now, being efficient about this, you want to limit your available designs to like one or two. Okay, because what we don't want to do here, remember we said this at the very beginning. Let me go back. It's about creating opportunities to increase your average sale and create and optimizing your processes for efficiency. So let's go back to here. Um, Limit your design choices to one or two. If you are doing custom designs for everybody, then you are definitely losing money doing cards. Instead, choose like one design that this is the design that everybody's getting this year. Do you want cards? Great. Here's the design and all we're doing. So the design remains the same. There's no customization options. Obviously, you're going to put their images on it. So just personalizing it, their images, their name. But it's not like, oh, we'll make this smaller and put these designs on here and move this over here. And can we do this image, vertically instead of like, nope, that's not what we're doing here. This is the option you get. If you feel really weird about that, then come up with two and let them choose between two. All right. Okay. Now, that's a really good lead in to this next section on maximizing your efficiency. The best way to do this is to batch your processes. What this means is basically take a task that you have to do with every client and do all of them back to back, right? So, how do we batch our processes? Well, we can do it with your schedule. So, our mini sessions are going to be on Saturday. They're going to be half-hour sessions. They're back to back. Don't forget to give yourself a lunch break. Did that before. That was fun. Give yourself a lunch break, but half-hour sessions back to back one weekend. And then the following weekend, each client has the same exact half-hour time slot, and that's when you're going to do your sales meetings, right? It makes it really, really simple when you do it this way because it's just, okay, I will see you at 10 o'clock between 10 and 10:30 on Saturday. And then next Saturday, I will see you between 10 and 10:30 to pick your images for your digital files and to pick your image for your 11 by 14 mounted print, right? Crazy, crazy simple when you do it this way. Okay, how else can we batch our processes? Do it with your editing. So if I'm going to sit down and do all of my culling, I'm going to just go back to back to back. I'm going to do every single session all in a row, just one big culling fest, right? Um, and then same thing with pre-designing. I'm going to talk about pre-designing in just a minute, but I'm going to do all of these things at the same time. The reason is it simplifies everything, especially when we start looking at what I talked about with the schedule. It's I'll see you at 10:30 on this day, and then a week later I'll see you at 10:30, and you have a half hour, and we're just done, right? What it does is it reduces task switching, which it actually takes us a long time to get into our groove with a task if we're constantly switching between different things, especially if we're switching between creative tasks and logical tasks. So if we can just do all the same thing all at once, then it just makes it a lot easier for us to continue being efficient, right? Helps us get in the groove. And then this idea of monotony, because I don't know about you guys, but like I hate the idea of culling for an entire day or something like that, right? Like that just sounds terrible. I want to break that up by doing other things. But monotony is going to help you learn to be more efficient because you start getting super bored with it and you're like, how can I do this better? How can I do this faster? Maybe I don't need to be, maybe I need to be more picky. Maybe I don't need to like take this image into Photoshop for an hour before before I decide if it's a yes or a no, right? So that monotony, it forces you to become more and more efficient, right? So, all right, cool. What's the next thing that can help with being as efficient as possible? This one, virtual in-person sales meetings. So, virtual sales meetings are hands down the best balance between being efficient and convenient and being effective. And again, remember when I say effective, I mean profitable. Right now, notice what I'm not saying is hands down virtual sales meetings are the best way to do this. No, it's the best balance between the two. If I want to make as much money as possible, all right, I'm going to do a traditional in person sales meeting. I don't want that though, if not for virtual sales meetings or not for mini sessions, right? Okay, well, if I want to be as efficient as possible, well, great, I'll just hand them the digital files. I don't want that either because I'd like to make more money, right? So this is the best balance between those two things, right? So with virtual sales meetings, it's basically what we've already discussed here. We're going to do a half-hour time slot, and that time slot is for them to choose their digitals, choose their 11 by 14, and then discuss other options. So that's going to be those upsells, right? Well, here's your 11 by 14. Here's what it looks like on the wall. Looks a little ridiculous, right? Here, let's check this out instead, right? Why else is this a great option? Well, there's no travel time required for anyone, so you're not having to factor in travel time to and from a client's home. There's very little prep time. You really just need kind of like a blank wall behind you, and you don't even need to clean the room, right? You can stick your kid on Netflix, like I did with mine, in the next room, and you can do this really easily, right? And then also, if you're new to in-person sales or product sales altogether, then this is like the best way to baby step your way into it because you can have like your checklists right there next to you. The client doesn't even know that you're working off of a checklist. You can have notes. You can, I mean, it's really, really easy. And virtual sales meetings tend to be a lot more low key. You can make mistakes. You don't have to feel like you have all of your stuff together, right? All right, so that's the next way. Okay, what do you need to be able to do virtual in-person sales meetings? Well, you need Swift Galleries and you need Zoom, and that's really it. It's really, really simple. And if anything great came out of all of this mess that we've been going through for the last 2 years, it's that everyone knows how to Zoom at this point. So it's not, you don't even have to teach clients that anymore. So some optional stuff, something to take some notes on. This is going to be like if they upgrade their 11 by 14, just jot a note down for yourself of what the 11 by 14 was worth and what they're buying instead, so that what kind of discount to give them or something like that. And then another one is we have a checklist. It's an ultimate IPS meeting checklist. It literally walks you through every single step of the sales meeting. So something like that would be really good to have right next to the computer if you've never done sales meetings before, or if you have done them and you just want to make sure that you're covering all of your bases, right? Okay. Oh, I'm glad I put that slide there because I would have forgotten to say this. I'm actually doing an entire webinar later this month. In fact, I think it's what, 2 weeks from now or something. Three, I don't know, 3 weeks, whatever. The 14th of September, I'm doing a whole webinar on virtual in-person sales with Swift Galleries. Um, so come and join me. All right, so let's head to Swift Galleries real quick, so I can show you some of this stuff, how you can do this in Swift Galleries, how you can be as efficient as possible over there. Maybe. My computer just decided not to play at all anymore. There we go. Okay, cool. Let me see if we have any questions first. Ooh, that's rough. Let me switch this over to just my face, just so that you guys don't have that craziness going on your screen while I answer some questions. Okay. If we do not have studio space, how would you suggest we meet again to go over the printed images? Boom! Answered that one. Virtual in-person sales. It is the way to go. Okay. I'm from St. Louis. Plan to do some mini sessions there when I visit in October. Should I do the follow-up meeting the next week or via Zoom? Yep, there you go. And do you put all the details into the offer? Let's see. Do you put all the details into the offer? Are you upgrades to additional files, larger print, or full session? So it isn't a bait and switch offer. Yeah. So I'm really, really glad that you asked this, Andrea, and that you used these exact words, because I want to make this distinction. So I wouldn't put it into the offer. Like I wouldn't put it out there as in like, hey, sign up for mini sessions. You get these things, but you have the opportunity to blah, 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 right? But you want to mention these things in your conversations with them. So when you say something like, and then we'll meet a week later to choose your images for your digital files and to choose your image for your 11 by 14, right? When you say that, I want you to also say this. So if you need to write this down, okay? And I'll also show you some other options, some other things that I think you can do with your photos. That's it. So now we've planted that seed. We've said, hey, look, this is going to be a time to choose these images. And then I'm also going to show you some other options that I think will look great with the photos that we've taken for you, right? So we cover all of those bases, and there's no bait and switch, right? And I wanted to make this clear too, because some people get a little bit weird when I start talking about like creating opportunities for upselling. Basically, they're like, oh, that feels sleazy. We're just being intentional about what we do. And there is nothing wrong about being intentional. Like, if you think about the opposite of that, right? It's like, well, I just chose this like kind of willy-nilly, right? Just randomly chose some stuff because I didn't want to feel like, no, we're just being intentional. We're just making sure that there's a reason for what we're doing, right? So we have to have some stuff to give them. Let's just be intentional about what we're giving them so that it will help us hit our business goals as well, right? Okay. What is the right way? Oh, Amber, you're welcome. Excellent. What's the right way to price mini sessions that include products? So that's a great question. And honestly, probably another webinar all in and of itself, but pricing mini sessions, just make sure, number one, you're covering your time. And when I say covering your time, I mean the time for the session itself, but also the time to create whatever products you are delivering, right? You have to factor that time in. And then with your products, I would charge at least 3x. We're really looking at 25% good cost of goods sold is really where you want to be, and that's going to be 4 times your costs. But 35% you can get away with 35%, which would be roughly 3 times your cost. So yeah, that's what I would look at is, okay, how much is my time worth? How much time is it going to take me to cull these images, all of that? Okay, well, that's my baseline. Okay, now I have at least these 2 products included in there. Let me make sure I cover that, and then you go from there. So that's the way that I would recommend doing that. That way, you're basing it off of your own numbers and not just off of like, well, what is the guy down the street charging? Because let's be honest, that was the way I priced myself for a little while. Okay, cool. Carrie, oh hey Carrie. Carrie says, Andrea. I'm sorry, I don't know, Andrea. I just decided to add in that additional files cost, but in the actual sign up area, not on the flyer itself. Cool. Yeah, cool. Um, excellent. Let's jump into. Oh, I don't know why I didn't put this on the slides. This is a huge one for maximizing your efficiency. Okay. Do not fully edit every image. Only fully edit the images that they purchase. All right. This one is terribly important, and I can't believe I didn't put it in the slide deck. So uh, you should do basically Lightroom edits on all of your images before a sales meeting. So you're checking, exposure and white balance, and like, are they super crooked? Like, was I drunk by that point during the day, or just tired, and like that. Those types of corrections are really the only things you should do to these images. If you heavily edit, if your final images are heavily edited, then fully edit one so that they get an idea of what a fully edited image looks like. But other than that, do not fully edit every image. Do your Lightroom edit, and then only fully edit the images that they actually order. Right. So if this makes you really nervous, because I know this makes a lot of photographers really nervous, mini sessions are the best time to test this. All right. It's the best opportunity for you to try this out in your business, because it just makes life so much easier, so much easier. And you can see that, like, hey, it's not as scary as I thought it would be. See, yeah, Andrea says I cringe to show unedited images. So they're not unedited; they're just lightly edited. But I want you to try it. Okay, try it this year with your mini sessions, and I guarantee you, your clients are not going to notice that much of a difference. Of course, you're going to notice, and you're going to want to make sure that you do your full edits on anything that you deliver, but these are going to be good enough for the sales meeting. Okay. And then we only fully edit the final images. Okay. All right. I want to get you guys out of here on time. So let me get rid of me here, and let's switch this layout. Whoa, that's crazy. All right, so we are in Swift Galleries now, and I wanted to show you a couple of things. So while I'm here, just kind of like on the main page, I wanted to show you um, uh, how to add add-ons. So add-ons in Swift Galleries are basically things that don't go on the wall. So we have things kind of grouped into wall art and then kind of everything else. And what I want you to do is make sure that you have an add-on created for those digital files. So if you're offering, say you're offering 3 digital files with your mini sessions, then I want you to come in here, go to manage, go down here to add-ons, and we're going to just create an add-on. So it's right here at the bottom. I'm going to create an add-on, and we're going to say digital files. And we don't need a lab, or I mean, if you have a lab that you get your digitals through, or yeah, I mean, with 3 digital files, you're probably not going to like burn them to a USB or anything like that. So, you can just say self or something like that, right? And then we'll just put 3 digital files, and then over here we will put our max number of images supported is 3, obviously. And then this is just going to be the same thing, digital files. This is just like the description there. And then this is my cost. So what I would do here is just kind of factor in, if you didn't include this into your session fee, factor in how much time it will take you to fully edit 3 digital files, and then how much your time is worth. Plug that into your costs here, right? So let's say that your cost is $60, and whatever you would normally charge for these, because you might want to actually use these in the future, not for mini sessions. I know they're included with mini sessions. I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. But we're going to say retail price here is what, $240, something like that, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and save those add-ons, and we're good there. So now I have that available when I'm in a sales meeting and I'm doing the sales meeting. I have that as an add-on available to just add immediately. So let me go show you what that looks like now. So we'll come in here to this example client I have, and we'll go into this sales meeting. All right, cool. So the sales meeting, I'm going to do, I'll cover this in more detail when I do the virtual in-person sales webinar later this month, or next month, technically. So I'm not going to go through a ton of this stuff right now. I'm actually just going to go through the design aspect and then some of the checkout stuff to show you just how to do this, again, effectively and efficiently. Oh, and while that's loading, actually, I had one other thing I wanted to show you. This is another way to be really efficient. You remember how I talked about only offering 1 or 2 designs for cards? It's a really good idea to only offer 1 or 2 different layouts that you're designing for your wall art also, right? So what you can do in Swift Galleries is you can come in and actually mark these as favorites. So I'm going to mark that one, and we'll mark this one, and we'll just say that these are my 2 favorites. These are the 2 that I'm going to use when I'm designing stuff for my clients in Swift Galleries. Okay, so let me refresh that since I just made that change over there. And let me jump in here again and see if there are any questions. Oh, while we're waiting on that, let me show you what else we have going on this month. So this week is obviously this one, successful mini sessions with Swift Galleries. Next week is everything you need to know about selling framed prints with Swift Galleries. Framed prints are kind of weird. Like what's the size? Is it the print size or is it the frame size? And how do I deal with like having realistic looking frames versus just color, whatever. So we're going to cover all things framed products next week. Week after that, we're going to talk about going from selling single images to selling multi-images, different strategies for getting your clients to buy multiple images on the wall rather than just one image. The week after that will be virtual in-person sales. Actually, these 2 are switched. I need to switch them in here. These 2 are switched. So it'll be virtual in-person sales, then it'll be this multi-image one. And then we'll end the month with a specific one for selling Musea products with Swift Galleries, because they've got some really cool stuff that they just released. And I'm excited to show people how to do that stuff. So, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at questions. Okay, I'm going to come back to these questions in just a minute. Cool. So let's jump in here. Okay, so I have some galleries already pre-designed for this client. Basically, between the session and the sales meeting, I get the images edited, lightly edited, and then I come in here and I created some pre-designed galleries. This is so that if they say, hey, I love that, we can just add it to the cart and move on, right? And this is where I was saying, like, you should really just have like 2 different gallery designs that you're going to do for these mini sessions. If during the sales meeting they're like, no, I want more than that, then okay, like, add some more. But really just stick with like 2 different gallery designs. In fact, what I really recommend is that you go with one option that is a single image on the wall, and then 2 options for galleries. The first one would be your dream gallery. Like if they just buy like the best thing ever, great, that's what you're going to design, right? And then the next one would be the more realistic one, right? So maybe this is your dream gallery that somebody would buy, but maybe this one is probably more appropriate and more realistic as they get something like this, right? So definitely do those pre-designs because you can save them as suggestions and they're right here. You don't have to play around in the software. You don't have to do any of that. If they say they love it, then you can just hit add to cart and you move right on, right? So, okay. If, however, they want to design some stuff, or you want to do some stuff in real time with them, when I come into templates, you can see now these are the two that I marked as favorites. They bring themselves to the top of the list. That way I can get to them really quickly. So we'll go ahead and just choose this one. And I'm going to select all, and I'm going to just move it in the right spot. And I'm going to just choose some images for this. I like this one. And if all of this is new to you and you are not using Swift Galleries yet, then definitely come to that virtual sales meeting, because I'm gonna go through kind of the step-by-steps of sales meetings in Swift Galleries on that call. So I would love for you to join me on that. Let's go ahead and just do this one for our second one here. Cool. And then, they say, okay, yep, I love that. Great. We can just go ahead and add it to the cart. Otherwise, we can, add it to the cart, right? Let me see. Make sure that I get all of the things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, some of the other stuff that I want to bring to your attention is using these keyboard shortcuts in the designer. So it sounds trivial, but it saves a ton of time. All right. So let's say that they like this, but there was another image they liked and they just want to add another one over here. So rather than just coming down here and clicking on copy product and then like doing all this stuff, we have a bunch of keyboard shortcuts. For this one, it's D for duplicate. So I'm going to hit the letter D and it duplicates that, right? And now over here, instead of coming down and saying, choose photos. So actually, I'll click on choose photo down here, and then let's do maybe the parents here. So I'll click on choose photo. We'll get that crop where we want it, something like that. These are gorgeous people, aren't they? So now instead of having to come all the way down here to apply crop, I can just double click here and it'll apply that crop, right? Okay, now what else? Well, I can now select all of these and I can align them, right? But instead of coming down here and clicking on that and then choosing the alignment, I can just do shift and the up arrow, the up key, right? And now that just aligned the top edges of all of these products. So now we know that all of those are aligned at the top, and I can do like that. So there's a whole bunch of these keyboard shortcuts. If you look on your dashboard here in Swift Galleries, let me show you where that is real quick. Dashboard, there's a quick link right down here somewhere. Or I'm lying. Here we go. Right here. The designer tips and shortcuts link is what you want to do. So it's under day-to-day Swift Galleries workflow, and then design suggested galleries. Click on that, and that will get you a PDF that has all of these keyboard shortcuts in it. Okay, and then let me show you this last thing here. We'll go to add to cart. Get that in there. And then I want to show you where those add-ons come up. So now we're in review cart. I'm going to click on add-ons. And remember, they're going to get that 11 by 14. I really should have showed you that too. Hold on. So a good idea for when you're dealing with these, with the 11 by 14 that they get in their package, whatever, is to take that 11 by 14 and drop it on the wall. There we go. Let's just choose a different room. Let's just go with this one, kind of tried and true, right? I'm gonna hit the A key to add a product to the wall. Unfortunately, all I have in this account is a test account. All I have is framed stuff. So let's just choose, let's see, what do I want? Let's go with this one. And what I'm going to do is just bring that frame all the way down to like 0 so that it looks like an unframed print. We all know it's not. It looks like it though. And then what I want to do is change the size of this. I'm going to say resize. And I don't have an 8x12 of this one. Oh, that was weird. That's a bug that I never knew existed until just now. So I'll go ahead and fix that. So, we've got our 12x12 here. Actually wanted the 8x12. So let's go down to that one there. Excellent. So anyway, you would do this with the 11x14. And now you can show them like, hey, this is what you get. It looks a little ridiculous, right? That's why I think that you should go with something like, 20x30. Instead, something like this would look a lot more appropriate on the wall. And that's where you start adding in and if we do it framed or whatever, then that looks better. So yeah, that way you can show it to them. You show them the 11x14 on the wall, and that makes it really easy for you to be like, hey, this is what you get. I think that you would really like something like this a lot more. It's going to look a lot more appropriate on just an average sized wall, right? Okay, cool. Now let's head back over to the cart so I can show you this, actually show you this now. We'll click on add-ons, and this is where we're going to add those digitals. So we're going to come in here, probably at the bottom. Yeah, here we go. Choose. And we're going to leave the price there. I know they're not paying for these, but leave it there. Trust me on this one. Click on finish. And then here we're going to select the images that they want. So they're going to say, yeah, we wanted this one as one of our digitals, and we want this one, and we want this one, right? Okay, great. You selected images. And now we're going to save and go to next. And here is where we will give them a discount for the amount of those digitals, right? So I'm going to talk about this in a second. I can't talk and type at the same time, so I'm going to do this real quick. So we're going to say mini session discount. And those were $240, so I'm going to put that in there, right? So psychologically, by not changing that to $0 and by having a price in there, they see this is how much I could have spent, but here's how much I'm spending instead, even though they already technically paid for these with the session fee, right? We still want to make it obvious that they are getting a deal. All right, so that's why we do it this way. We keep the price in there, we add them to the cart like that, and then we apply a discount during the sales meeting so that they see I could have paid this much, but I'm saving money here. All right, it's a better approach psychologically. And again, it's just being intentional about the things you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's all the same. They're not paying for those. We're just being intentional in showing them that they're not paying for those. Okay. All right. Save and go to next. And this is where you would just enter in all of their stuff. Let me make sure I covered everything I wanted to in Swift Gallery. So marking templates as favorites, designing efficiently using the keyboard shortcuts, the idea of doing one large single print and two different galleries, kind of your dream gallery and your realistic gallery or whatever, as your pre-designed stuff. Definitely do that. And then make sure that you add however many digitals come with your sales, with your mini session, add that in as an add-on in Swift Gallery so you can quickly add them and select the images to associate with those. All right. Okay, let's hop back in here real quick, maybe. There we go. This is the shameless plug. If you're not using Swift Galleries yet, we would love to have you. You can head over to swiftgalleries.com/trial, and that'll get you a 14-day free trial. You will get access to every single feature, including the ability to actually make sales. We love it when you guys make your first sale during your free trial. That just makes me very happy. And you won't even give us a credit card number to sign up for that free trial. All right. And if you are watching this, even if you're watching this in the future, and you start a free trial, shoot me an email and let me know, hey, I came through the mini sessions webinar, because we'll send something over your way. Maybe one of our checklists, or maybe our virtual IPS little mini course or something like that. Just let me know that you came through this webinar, because we want to thank you for spending the time watching this. And now I'm going to hop back into the chat so that I can answer any other questions. And let's get rid of that guy. Come back over here. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Okay, it's not sleazy to want to make more money. Yes, if you don't want to upsell more images, you don't have to. It's your business. Every business does it. Would you like fries with that? Exactly. Perfect. Exactly. Cool. I know this isn't for here. I was wondering if it's possible to create suggestion images for add-ons and albums to help us sell, such as albums where we can drop client image into the cover and acrylic block and stuff like that. Shoot me an email about that. I want to unpack that idea a little bit more, if you don't mind. It sounds interesting, but yeah, shoot me an email about that. hello@swiftgalleries.com. Okay. All right. Excellent. Cody says, okay, I'm the question queen up in here. No, you're not. New to IPS, literally haven't even had an IPS session. Yes, nowhere near having my ducks in a row. I'm in a new location, a military spouse. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a Navy brat. Where I don't know tons of people. What's the best and most successful way to advertise and get the word out for mini sessions without hearing crickets? Man, that is definitely a full webinar in and of itself. So you're brand new to the area and you just need to get some clients in the door. Facebook ads, I think, are going to be the best way to quickly get people in the door. Of course, it's going to cost you money, but I think Facebook ads are going to be probably the easiest way to just turn on the spigot quickly. All right. Okay. If you want to shoot me an email, I'd be happy to talk about that in more detail with you and what some longer term strategies would be for being in a new area and all of that. But the question was, how do I do this quickly? Then yeah, I think that's going to be Facebook ads. All right. Gail says, how would you handle if your clients ask for more customization? You can do that, Gail, if they want that. I would tell them that it's gonna cost more. These are the options we have for our mini sessions, but I would love to do something custom for you if you want to book a time to go through that, and we can do that, and it'll cost X number of dollars for a customization or something like that. So, okay, I have luck with paid ads on Instagram to get models. I've never advertised minis, but I'm definitely going to this year after I give my regulars a chance to sign up. What works for them. I love that too, that you're basically using your mailing list first and saying like, hey, this is for you guys first, you get first dibs, and then kind of supplementing and filling the rest of the gaps in your schedule through paid ads. That's great. What's mega bumming me out is I don't have regulars anymore. Exactly, because every time I build a clientele, the military says it's time to move again. Thanks, military. Yeah, I hear that. I think it's coming out like this week. Cody, I want you to check this out. I just did an interview with a photographer in Virginia, and it's not, because it didn't record. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it in a couple weeks. We're going to do it again because I messed up. We did the interview, the whole thing, and then I found out at the end that it didn't record. It sucked. But I'm going to be in Virginia. Remember, we're heading to Virginia next, and we're going to do it live in person. So she like legitimately talks about how to change markets because she's a military spouse. I think it's going to be a great resource for you. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. Okay. Do you run on Facebook as well? Yes, you will on both. See, I like Funny too, but these default rooms are so much nicer. Thank you. Question: is the 11 by 14 print image included in the 3 digital files? That's up to you. For us, no, it's not. Missed beginning. Can I get a recording for what I missed? Yes, this recording will be available for you to watch. I got kicked off for a big missed who you wanted to email you. Let's see. I can't remember who it was that I wanted to email me. It was Sussy. Yeah, email me about the album thing. Yeah, cool. Carrie, where's Haverhill? I don't even know what state that is. Sorry. Let me know. That sounds like a great resource. Thanks so much. Yep. Northeast Massachusetts. Perfect. Okay, cool. I missed that. What was the great resource? It was, I think she's talking about the interview that I'm going to be doing with that person about transitioning markets, changing markets. Mike says, "Hey, I'm from Boston. We were just there like a handful of weeks ago. We were out there. We were in Lincoln, staying with one of our coaching clients, and on their farm out in Lincoln. And it's absolutely gorgeous out there, but a lot hotter than we thought it was going to be. So, all right. Hey, anybody else have any other questions? This will be available to watch as a replay. Would love for you to do that. And you should all get the email with the replay link since you registered. So you'll get that email. Otherwise, if there are not any other questions, then I will let you guys go. This went almost twice as long as I wanted it to, so I'll get better. With these and keeping them a little bit more succinct as we go through the rest of this month, and hopefully continue to do these every single week until the end of time. So yeah. Mini session ideas. I'm not really sure what that question means, Andrea. So yeah. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? All right. I am going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me. If you do end up having more questions, please don't hesitate to just shoot me an email. I'll drop it here in the comments. hello@swiftgalleries.com. I am happy to answer any other questions that you have. And yeah, keep an eye out for us passing by in the truck and the camper. But seriously, if you see that we're headed through your way, reach out, because we love grabbing coffee with Swift Galleries members and with photographers. So definitely let us know if it looks like we're passing through your way. Let us know where you are. Just shoot us an email, and we'll see if we can work something out. So, all right, excellent. Everybody take care, and I will see you again next week.